Thanks for the F Shack. Love Dirty Mike and the boys.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys? How you know who we are?
What's this? They call it the podcast?
Morning Good.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to Tim's Great Box.
Welcome to Morning Good.
All right, we're here. We're with Jake Timothy
Hey.
and Adam Christopher.
Yo.
And I'm nomading right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so wild.
Air mattress. I was really
yeah.
freaked out. I thought it was going to be something that I was going to hate. And I love it. Like it's like the breakup part sucks. I'm like crying every other day.
Yeah.
But like the freedom is nice.
No,
I also sound like a divorced guy right now.
No,
like,
but
the
it's
freedom
also
is
you're
great,
experiencing the dynamic of the situation.
Yeah,
It's like, within that experience of the freedom, you're also experiencing like the richness of the pain of like, oh shit, like my life is changing in a way I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And that's like that's part of it's included in the package of like the freedom that you're getting.
Yeah. I guess nobody's totally free without having like some bad scenario.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't have a job. I don't have
yeah.
a girlfriend. I don't have a home.
And if you feel free, you sure as hell like say something or do something to make you not free.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I heard a man on the train once. I don't know. I think he was talking about being divorced, but he's talking to another guy, and he said something about he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been eating pizza every night." Like, he said it like really excited.
Yeah.
I was like, that sucks. Like, if you're a kid, that's like the best thing you could say to anyone.
Yeah,
if someone
yeah,
said
yeah.
that to me when I was like 10 years old, I'd be like, Jesus Christ. Man.
Yeah.
That's the best life.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Jason David. It's like that guy. He's like, nobody's here to tell me I'm not eating ice cream all day. It's like,
Yeah, you're just alone in like a motel room. Like,
Yeah.
pizza again.
Yeah.
What should I get this time?
Well, it's funny when you talk to like divorced people too, because like there is always like the divorced guy who like. There's married people who always like to shit on like somebody who's single, and they're like, "Oh, he hates his life," and then you see the married people are like screaming at each other all the time. But
Yeah.
everybody's just sad, you know. That's
Yeah.
just the truth.
Yeah, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, to know that everybody's doing that.
When I feel bad, I'm like, everyone feels just as bad.
Yeah. No matter what you try to do, you're just gonna feel like the same amount of bad.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like it's guys differently.
Yeah.
And then when I see a guy, even a friend of mine, who's like, I'm feeling good recently. I'm like, it's coming.
Yeah.
You're
Something
about to feel
bad's
pretty
right
bad,
around
man.
the corner. Yeah.
That's
but
all right.
it is. I do feel like the one thing I hate though is I do hate being at somebody else because I just feel like a piece of shit all the time. Like when I came home at like 7 a.m. the other night, so I was out like I went to a strip club. And which I don't like anymore. Now that I'm single, I don't like them. Like I think when I was in a relationship, I was like, ooh, boobs. And like it was less about the boobs, it's more like I think you can't go to a strip club with under 10 people. It's not like it's fun if you go with a big group of people, everybody's having fun. But when you go with like 2 or 3, it's just sad.
Yeah.
You show up like the way like you show up to a spot, like AirPods in and a hat. And
Yeah.
just like, hey, what's up? And then, oh man, if I watched you walk into a strip club like that, I'd be like, dude, I gotta.
Yeah, it's a dark place.
I gotta make
Gotta
some
talk
calls
to
on
him on
behalf
this
of my friend.
Yeah. Well, I was like trying to like, I always feel weird at those places because like half the women are like Eastern European. I was like, I don't want to lap dance for somebody because it feels like they're not there on their own merit. So I was.
It's weird. It's
What?
line to draw.
Well, I mean,
You're like, you have to be happy to be here, and they're like, well, what do you want, man?
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah.
I'm just imagining that scenario where you see him like coming in, hey, what's up, man? And then you're like, yo, I gotta talk to you on this.
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
You
And
do
meanwhile,
that,
there's like
high
strippers
five the
passing
DJ.
by.
Yeah, yo.
What's up, man?
Well,
He's
Gabby-
like, he
Gabby-
high fives you the way that bartender does. He's like, yeah, we're not like friends. But
Yeah.
I know you. I know you.
So what's going on here? And then meanwhile, there's like strippers passing by, like, "Hey, daddy,
Yeah.
you want to fucking ride?" Just like just nipples passing
Or
by.
they say, hey, daddy to everyone. They're like, what's up, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Tina.
It'd be funny too if I was like,
Hey,
nah,
Tina.
nah,
yeah.
I'm cool here.
Can I see your vagina again?
Just like a little peek, just like a little one of these.
Yeah, sure. Have the kids. You're like, I haven't seen them still. Been quite some time. Yeah, figures. You know, same old, same old. You think there's a guy who says same old to someone who assumes they mean terrible things?
What do you mean?
Like that guy in a strip club, if he said, the stripper's like, how you doing? They're like, same old, same old. The stripper's like, oh, like you haven't seen your kids, you're unemployed.
Oh yeah.
Your
Life
just
is
life.
a nightmare. Yeah. It's just always a nightmare.
Just, going through the motions.
Look, you hold up higher. By the way, the cord sucks. Like here?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
dude.
ruin every episode
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, he's gonna sleep on my couch
Just
soon.
get a different mic.
Yeah.
Can you do it better?
It'd be funny too. It's funny too because I'm such a vag. Like the way I ask things, like, hey, like I don't want to be like a total asshole, but like, can you guys like not get out of frame when I'm like recording the podcast? Have fun, but like don't move an inch at all, please.
Well,
You
yeah.
gotta get those cornrows back.
Dude,
You'd be like, yo, fix that mic.
Yeah.
Grab that mic.
Well, because you try harder than most people, so it's like, yeah, be a
Yeah,
little
dude.
particular.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's
You-
totally
you do
understandable.
put in a lot of effort.
Thank you.
And,
You guys should have each came with 4 topics, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly. I was thinking it would be funny too if I went to the strip club. I'm like, this is my spot. I'm like, what's up, Kevin? He's like, you're not allowed in here anymore. Just some whole thing. I'm like, shut up. There's no rules about biting them. It was not discreetly written anywhere. You can't.
I'll say for a guy who's on paper, your life is falling apart.
Yeah.
You'd
Yes.
never know.
Yeah.
You could be doing amazing or like worst day of your life, and you're always just like, yeah, like you're like kind of the same.
Yeah.
You present
Yeah,
the
dude.
same.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because like
That'll
man.
serve you well throughout life.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Because also
Because no one will check in on me when I'm doing really
Yeah.
bad. That'd be great. It's like he's doing awesome. Yeah.
Well, no, it'll check.
I'll be on one of
in,
those
yeah.
faces when they're like, "This is what depression looks like." It's me smiling at like a bar with friends.
depression done well. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, but you'll never become a guy who's like, oh, I can like live off sympathy.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
'cause
yeah. I'm
you
so
have
glad
like
you're not
a,
doing.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like a wall up around it, which is good. You don't want to be that guy. That's a
Yeah, I
terrible
don't want to
attitude.
bum people out because it is a emotional roller coaster of fun. Like it is extreme highs followed by extreme lows.
Oh yeah,
but,
yeah. It's like
Absolutely, yeah.
recalibrating.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm on a having fun on a bicycle, but all the screws are loose and they can
Oh,
fall apart
yo.
at any time. Yeah.
That's what just life feels like for me. in
Yeah.
general. It feels like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a scary feeling, but
Yeah, but it's oh so fun.
no, it is, and that's what like the other night was. It was fun, and then there's this stripper from Ireland, and I was like, okay, well she's here illegally. I have no idea. I'm making all these things in my head. I'm like, this is moral to hang out with her because she's not trafficked or whatever.
You're like the immigrants are taking our jobs.
yeah.
So it's really like whoever you can write a happy story about in your head.
Yeah,
Like you just make up the whole backstory, and you're like, I can live with that.
That's a good point. I'm like, she's actually a Russian queen, probably. That's like just taking. She wants. She's
Oh,
doing
you're
what,
Irish.
Yeah. She's doing what Bruce Wayne did. She actually has a great life. She
Yeah.
wants to like visit another country and
Oh,
live like.
see, she's from a country where they force everyone to be gay, and
yeah.
and so she's expressing her straightness
On me. Yeah.
by having sex with me for money.
What's funny because that was I went back to my friend's house and I get like a text from her. She's like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she's like, I was like, "By the way, I'm just not trying to pay for sex." I was like, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not looking for the raunchies either. I got a boyfriend." But I'm like, "Okay." Or she said, "I'm talking to somebody." And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm not gonna try to make a move. And I told her, I was like, I'm not gonna try to make a move, but if you want to make a move, feel free to make a move.
Did you say that to her?
Yeah, and through like text message. And I took.
This is funny to say to someone.
Yeah, well, because I'm like, she's coming over. It's 6 a.m. to hang out. I'm like, I don't think that's like
yeah.
nothing. But what happens is I take a blue chew because I'm like, always be prepared. I think you should just always be on a blue chew just in case something happens. Just always be prepared on a blue chew.
Yeah.
But what happened?
Blue Chew's the Mentos of boners.
Yeah.
That is a razor's edge to walk through.
You just always, yeah.
When people say that, they mean like be prepared if there's like a fire.
Yeah.
Like sheer rock hard on the fire.
Yeah, I can come on it.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
But she ended up just doing a bunch of cocaine in front of me and reading me an Irish play that was not good particularly. I mean,
Did she write it?
no. She's like, this is the writer, blah, 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 blah. I didn't hear the words because I was like, I wonder if this is going to happen or not. And
It was too
Holy
hard to listen.
Yeah. Holy I'm so prepared right now. I'm not even listening to this play.
yeah. I'm just like hearing about the potato famine while blood is rushing to my penis.
I can't imagine sending that text. I would be so anxious during the hanging out part.
Really? Why?
If I send it like, I'm not going to make a move,
Yeah.
but if you would like to, feel free.
Yeah.
And then she shows up with like a book, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to read anything, so I'm just sitting there like so hard on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny too because I used to think that if I stay up till 7 a.m. drinking, that my whole next day will be destroyed. I was productive. You can pull your life together when you're doing.
Sometimes
Oh,
I'm
I think it's 3 days of no sleep where you start to fall apart. And
There's
have
like a
hallucinations.
perfect
about 3 days.
amount of hungover where I'm like the most productive.
Yeah. Because there's a little bit of anxiety. You're like, what is my life? And then you're like, I got to do things today.
Yeah, and also you're kind of just like neutralized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of your brain that's just dead from alcohol poisoning, and so you're just kind of going through the whole day at the same speed.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And it's like I kept thinking, I was like, I'm going to do stand up and forget all of my jokes, which has never happened in the history of me doing stand up. But you would think you're like, tonight's the night that I forget everything I've ever written, even though I've been doing this for 6.5 years and I do this every single night. But you just think I literally felt like I was going to like just randomly fall and then forget how to walk. And I'm just laying there like, I shouldn't have hung out with that stripper. It's a terrible idea.
She did so much coke in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really good. Like I have really good restraint because I used to do coke and get horrible like, panic attacks. Like I've seen like so much cocaine and not done it, which is so funny that I'm like wildly proud of myself. That I'm like one of my few skills.
That's
I
a
can see
worthy
cocaine
pat on the
and
back.
not do it. Yeah.
I mean, I also have seen a lot of cocaine and not done it, but I just have never done it.
Yeah. See,
So
that's
it's
the
different.
difference. The difference is doing it for like years and then not doing it.
Yeah.
Because I did coke for like not that long. I think 18, 19, 20, 21. 22, 23. It's like 6 years of doing coke, and then
Holy shit.
I mean, it's not a crazy amount.
Yeah.
But that's how old are you? 27?
26. Yeah.
26? That's like a chunk of your life.
Yeah.
That's a lot of your life.
Yeah. It was my identity. I was like, if I have a bag of cocaine, I'm gonna have friends. That's
All those friends are just friends with the cocaine.
yeah. But it is. I've talked about this before. It is the coolest thing to have a bag of cocaine. You are the most popular guy at the party.
Oh yeah.
You're being used, but it is a cool feeling.
Yeah, but that's like a club promoter that has a table. That's like the least cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like necessarily explicitly think you as cool. They're
I
just
don't know,
like
to an extent. I think people that have drugs are cool. I still think I have very childish. Riding a motorcycle without a helmet, still cool. Smoking cigarettes, cool. Leather jackets, cool.
no. But that's like your narrative of it, right?
I'm over leather jacket.
Everyone else at the party is just like, oh, he's got coke.
Yeah.
You're like the only one putting the
In my
story
mind,
in
it's
it.
like I'm bad to the bone.
Hey, I heard you had coke, and you're like, and I'm cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a great time getting to know me.
Dude, there was
Over
this
a bag of cocaine.
There was this guy, dude, at high school. It was so funny because he just saw like he was not cool, and then he just saw movies and just replicated it. So he drove like a Trans Am, had a leather jacket, and was always bringing cocaine on him. But he was still just like an awkward guy. But it was so funny because everybody's like, they're like, he's a little crazy. But it was like it weirdly kind of worked for him too because you're like, first off, it looks insane to wear a leather in Florida. Wearing a leather jacket just never makes any sense. But there was a part of us that like second guessed it. We're like, is that correct? Like, is that
Is that cool as fuck?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He comes in dressed as like RoboCop one day.
Yeah.
Like, emulating films, like, yeah, RoboCop is so cool.
Yeah. Dude, we were talking about I think it was me and Jason. I was talking about somebody. We walked by, you know that comic book, or it's like a video game store, and they always have like giant like Iron Man or Batman statues.
Yeah, like Midtown Comics or something.
Yeah. We were talking about having like a really nice hotel, bringing chicks back, but you just have a giant Iron Man thing just in your kitchen, but nothing else Iron Man. Like your sheets are normal, all that's normal, and then just Iron Man thing.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I always think that would be like a good prank show. I mean, I don't know how it would work like ethically, but you can make where like the whole thing is a guy like an attractive model takes girls home, and then like the prank is like he just has something like insane that like she has to like look past. I mean, you don't show them having sex or anything, but
Oh yeah, that would be a really hard show to produce.
no,
Yeah,
totally.
no, they already did that though. It's called To Catch a Predator. But it was the other
Yeah,
way.
But the guy brings the Iron Man statue.
Yeah.
The guy shows up dressed as Iron Man or something.
Yeah. Dude, my favorite was I've watched like the new Chris Hansen one. And one guy like
They're still doing it?
yeah.
I thought they caught them all already.
No. They're
The
far
war wages.
Yeah. It's it's crazy because it's like it's like of course the pedophiles they should be thrown in jail, but he's just so mean to them and they're just having such a horrible day. And he's just like, what you're doing is disgusting. He's like, I know, I'm going to jail, and all that stuff. Hey, how's it going?
Hello. I don't don't think anyone.
No,
one
you're
should
good.
be
Yeah.
in there.
No, it's
It
empty.
should be empty. Yeah.
But
Nice.
that was one of those subscriptions I had nothing to talk about on the podcast for a couple weeks, so I'm like, let me just watch a bunch of the new Chris Hansen show, and I'll just talk about the different guys on that show, and that'll give me something to talk about.
To talk about, to write about or something.
Yeah. I'll do that, where I'll watch like 5 Vice documentaries about weird things, and I'm like, all right, this will be something, but yeah. But it isn't. But no, I'm excited. My back is getting fucked up from the air mattress. It's like I sleep perfectly on the air mattress, but I keep waking up like in fetal position just because of how deflated it is. And
you got holes in the mattress?
Yeah. And then people are like, it's easy to find the holes. You just cover the mattress in soap and water and then turn it on. I was like, that sounds like a not easy process.
No, it's easier than that. You lick your finger or your hand, and then you just move your hand around like the mattress, and you'll feel where the air is coming.
That's a way better way to do it.
Yeah, that's how I've always.
You know what
done
can work
What
really
you
well?
should do is when you wake up, you just pee.
Yeah.
And then there'll be bubbles somewhere, and then you just throw it out because it's covered in pee. You can't fix that. What are you supposed to do though? You just put tape over it and then just prolong
duct
the
tape.
problem?
Yeah, so you put tape over it and prolong the problem. That's You should just get another.
Yeah, no, 100. It's like $100. I'm like, yeah, that's what I should do.
You know, when to take it out to your yard, you plug it in first, so it turns on, and then as it blows up, you cover it in water, and when you find the hole, you can have sex with it.
And then you throw it out. It's a dirty horse.
Or you just try to return it. This mattress came covered in semen. I don't know why.
You throw it out because it's impure.
It's impure.
Bury it in the backyard.
This is no longer in accordance with my religion.
You got to bury it in the yard, and then every once in a while, you look out the kitchen window and just disgusting.
You do a Chris Hansen on it. You bring it into the kitchen. What you're doing is disgusting. You're talking to a deflated man. Filled with cum.
There's a weird Hasidic thing where it's like you have to bury your cum. Have you heard this?
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I have not heard that.
Yo, new Mike will be popping.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah,
dude.
I never know if this is real information or started by an anti-Semitic person. There's always weird things that you're like, that can't be right. And you're like, oh, that is weirdly right. Or it's just way off.
But you still don't even know, right? Because just because you find 3 sources saying the thing,
I feel like
from the internet.
Every religion, there are so many different sects of it.
That
there's probably like a group of 10 Jewish guys who believe in some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
But that's not like what Jewish people
totally.
believe,
Yeah. There's always a guy trying to justify the weird thing he's doing by being like, no, it's page 55 of the Torah. I promise. Yeah.
This is what Hashem meant when he said he loves me.
Yeah.
It's I bury my cum
Yeah.
and then I grow a tree baby.
Yeah.
The olive tree sits nestled upon the mountain. I come there.
Yeah.
I came on it.
Well, the weirdest I was on, like, I'm not going to become a dating app comic now. I promise I'm not. But this is my first time being on them.
Give it a go. See how it works out.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want to be one of those guys that's like, did you see what's going on Tinder? Because there's a lot of that. Obviously.
Yeah.
But there's this one girl talking about like she went to Yale, and I was like, oh, is a skull and bones thing a real thing? She's like, yeah, it's a real thing. I'm like, so they all like jizz on like a glass coffin. She's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I guess I jumped the gun too far. It's like the 4th thing I said to her, and I'm like, why am I talking like that to a total stranger?
Yeah, but she would know it as like this is a club at the school.
Yeah. And I know it from what Alex Jones has said. I'm like, so they did 9/11, right? And she's like, what are you talking about? This is like, yeah. Yeah, but that is apparently the thing, right? You've heard that conspiracy that they lay in a glass coffin and everybody jerks off on it?
No, that's also that's not the conspiracy under the definition of conspiracy.
Right, yeah.
That's just a rumor about what a couple of guys are up to.
Yeah.
It's not like vying for power or anything. They're just jerking off on a coffin.
Yeah, there's not really a conspiracy there.
Yeah.
That's also, how do you want to be a part of a club that bad where you're doing that?
Okay, you say that, but like president of the United States, I mean, I would be in a coffin covered in semen to be president of the United States.
You want to be president?
No.
That's fast.
No. Okay, so I don't want to be president, but I'm saying like
only if I could be covered in cum.
I wonder if it's fun. I wonder if there's a guy like, come coffin, and they're like, yeah.
And they're like, but you have to be the president. He's like, oh. God damn.
Can we just do the cum coffin?
Fine.
Yeah, it is. No, but it's like you are joining that club knowing that your life is you're gonna have some sorts of income. That would suck to be the one
Yeah,
guy.
but there's a
who's-
lot of ways to go about that, you know?
Yeah, but
You're
it's
going to
like,
have some source of income. That's so vague.
I will say this: my bar for gay
You're gonna
stuff
own
is
4
way
gas
lower.
stations.
My bar for gay stuff is way lower than everybody else's, and I'm finding out once a day where people are like, "Would you do this for like this much money?" I'm like, "Yeah, totally," and everybody's like, "That's nothing." They're like, "You're compromising." You're
It's not even a gay straight thing. It's just I don't want to go. I don't want to go through that. I'm sitting here being homophobic.
I don't know. I don't know. You're telling me you don't want to be in a coffin with dudes coming on it.
Yeah,
You're
that's
starting to
kinda-
sound like a bigot to me.
Yeah, not particularly. I just don't want to go through that.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
there's a festival in Angry You
prefer
Too, the
no
Pride Parade.
Does the cum coffin float piss you off? With all the president Mount Rushmore of presidents on it?
That would be the funniest parade floated pride, just a coffin glass one. Just like
no. That wouldn't offend me at all. If I knew that was going to be a float, I'd be like, I'm going to Pride, dude. You got me. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be there.
Yeah.
to witness that.
But yeah, that's just there's never been a club that I've wanted to be a part of where I would do that to get in.
But I think
Oh,
you also
yeah.
don't like people that much. I like people a lot. So if we're like, not that I want people coming on my coffin, but
It depends on who it is and what coffin.
yeah.
I mean, I like people enough,
Okay.
but like one-on-one. I don't like group think.
Yeah.
Right.
Where a bunch of guys are like, no one is the bystander who's like, hey, maybe we can just be his friend. We don't have to come on his face under glass.
Yeah. Well, the glass is protecting you from the cum.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, really? I'm all in there. I didn't understand the physics of the glass.
Have you recently joined the club and then you're
Yeah. I'm like, guys, it's not even that weird
It's
today.
not that weird. Like when it's happening, you're like, oh, okay. It's just like another day.
Yeah, it's got to be weird.
Yeah, I guess.
I really wonder the timing has to be perfect. There's got to be a guy and they're like, steady, wait for it, because they all got to probably like do it at the same time.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. You know, the thing is, I visited a bunch of my friends when they were in fraternities.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have to do anything like that. But they,
No,
they went
I was
through
in one.
like
We had none of that. Yeah,
they went through like some sort of hazing
yeah.
to be friends with these people. And every time I went and visited, I was like, I would like to be friends with like 2 of the guys here.
Yeah. That's
You know, and my friends were like, yeah, I'm not friends with every single one of them. And I'm like, yeah, there's no, I don't want to like join this brotherhood
yeah.
so I could just be friends with these 2 guys. I'll just be friends with them outside of this.
Yeah. You just
know?
want to hang out with women only. You don't even like touching dudes because you're homophobic and you don't want to be part of the cum coffin. It's fair. No, but no, I get where you're coming. So like
Hey,
one love.
One love, dude.
For the
One
listeners who
love.
can't see, Jake's holding a sign that says "One Love."
well, science is one love.
Yeah, I didn't get a full story behind that.
I don't know. It's just something I'm promoting on this podcast.
Yeah,
I'm not doing any more media appearances if I'm not promoting something.
Yeah.
You know?
This at least is like a solid message.
Yeah.
He had a sign earlier that just said soda
Yeah.
and not hidden as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
the
has
responses
like
to that were pretty mixed. We were like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get that.
a,
And I was like, one love? And they're like, I guess so.
yeah.
So, you know.
I saw a homeless guy yesterday doing something interesting. He had a pregnancy test that was positive. He looked really well put together. He's like, "Do you guys have any money?" And I was like, "That's a good promotion to like look like that." But then I walked by later. Somebody's like, "Yeah, that guy's just been yelling the N-word with a positive pregnancy test and asking people for money." I'm like, "That is a level I have not seen before."
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But I
Well,
will
you
say
know.
this: put together people catching you off guard is hilarious. I don't think I told you this hotel story yet. So I was staying with my parents at a hotel for like 5 days when I first broke up with my girlfriend, and or we broke up. I'll give her credit. But I was out drinking, and I came back to this hotel, and there was a guy balding, normal glasses, like just very dad glasses. He's got a like a polo shirt tucked into khakis, right? And we see each other in the lobby, and I'm like, I was doing like drunk guy see another drunk guy thing. I like being friendly. I like people. So I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, good to see you, man. And then I go to the elevator bank, and he's having trouble with his key. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it. You do it like this. He's like, dude, you should come to 29. And I was like, maybe. I'm on 42. He goes, dude, come to 29. Come to 29. I was like, is there a party on 29? He goes, I'll suck your dick. And I'm just like, no, thank you. I was like, I'm not gay. And he goes, come on. Like the way he's asking me is if it's like a beer or something. He's like, come on, come to 29, come to 29. I was like, no. He's like, he asked like 3 more times. He's like, come on, dude, just come to 29. I'll suck your dick. Come on. I was like, okay. He goes, all right, well, you take care. Just had the most normal.
Did he change his glasses to crazy glasses?
Yeah.
He was wearing normal glasses earlier, and he's like, puts on crazy glasses. Come to 29 now.
Like hearts. Yeah. Or like
It's 2003.
For some reason, the New Year's ones were just.
Damn, dude. So what happened?
The guy blew him. No. I just went my different ways, and then I freaked out in the middle of the night too because my parents were staying in the same hotel room as me, and I'm in bed, and then my dad has a sleep apnea mask on, and he reaches over to like close my laptop.
Sorry, I think I jumped ahead.
No, yeah. So he reaches over to like close my laptop, and then just an inch away from my face is just Bane. And I started freaking out. I think I hit my dad, and I was like, because I was already on edge. I was like, some guy trying to suck me off, which is fine. But
wait, you saw Bane from like Batman?
well, it just felt like Davy Jones or somebody was right in my face. Yeah.
I thought you were like freaking out, like, no, he's sucking my dick.
Was the guy kidding? Did you think he was kidding?
No, because he asked for. He was kind of touching me a little bit too. He's like, "Come on, come to 29, come to 29." I was just like, "No, thank you." He's like, "Come on."
Damn, that must have worked for him. A couple
Yeah,
times.
well, I was like, yeah, totally, yeah. Well, I was also like, it's funny that he's just wandering the hotel like somebody from The Shining. Like he's just like just trying to get somebody to suck your dick, just going on different floors. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Come on.
Normal glasses.
Yeah.
There must be a couple guys walking around in the world just like that like pops into their head that memory sometimes.
Yeah.
Let that- every time they're just like in a quiet hotel lobby, they like sit at the bar and they look down. They're like, "Hey, remember they let that guy suck my dick because he asked twice."
Yeah.
He wasn't even like that convincing about it.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't want to be rude, and I was like, you know what? I've never been to Key West before. Let me try something different.
Yeah, remember that time I was in St. Louis? The guy's like, "Yeah, let me suck your dick," and I was like, "Nah," and he's like, "Come on." I was like, "Hey, I guess so."
Yeah.
Slurs back into like, honey, did you get milk?
No. Actually, I should go back out and go to St. Louis. Go back to the hotel and wait. He goes back the same day every year for 10 years and just sits at the bar.
Drinking a Cuddy Sark on ice.
I bet you the guy did give a bad blowjob because he looked like I would guess. I mean, maybe he is like an openly gay man, but I was like, he just really. I don't know. He just, and there are gay dudes that like would pass for straight, but he seems like a closeted guy who just likes blowing guys when he's on business trips. And that guy is probably not the best at sucking dick compared to like, I feel like somebody who's like openly gay and like, I don't know, because this guy, I feel like this guy sucks dick maybe once every 4 months. I don't know.
But he sounds like a real one, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
man.
I think those other people are posers, honestly.
Yeah,
I think they
yeah.
probably suck at sucking dick.
Yeah, I wonder if he like
I
cleans
bet
his
that guy
glasses
was
off
really good.
before.
If we fit the narrative to those coordinates of what he's saying, like he probably like it worked with him
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like just roaming hallways of like hotels.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like he got better over time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's what I noticed with myself.
Yeah. Or he is a ghost.
How old did you say this guy was?
He was like 55 probably. Like, and just like the most, like looks like one of your dad's friends. I mean, I don't know what your dad's friends look like. Maybe not, but yeah.
I don't know. They all look like they have like a dick in their mouth. Man, dude, what a life.
Yeah.
What a life.
How
Yeah.
exotic.
One love, baby.
One
Yeah,
love.
One love.
Yeah,
One
shout
love.
out Room 29, baby. Is that his actual room?
Yeah, room 29. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my parents were on
don't-
42.
Yeah, maybe don't.
And it doesn't know the hotel or the city or anything.
Oh yeah, he
What
probably
hotel?
doesn't live there.
Yeah, he just lives in 29.
He just lives there.
He goes to the lobby. He's like, "You see any cute guys here?"
Oh,
Okay, no.
man. You should just pay a bunch of guys to go to the hotel lobby and just tell everyone that they're staying in room 29. And just see if that guy is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The hard part is
Big night ahead of us.
I will always question what 29 looked like. Like, is he like my dad, so he's got a sleep apnea mask, or does he have a little more class where he had flowers on the bed ready to go? You know, he's maybe, I don't know, he's straight presenting. Maybe he put like Top Gun on or something. Like there's something kind of like
you should have gone in.
Yeah.
Do you think
I
it
would
would
have
be?
stopped thinking about it after I said no.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be stranger for you if you went to his hotel? Oh,
There we
sorry.
go.
God, I'm sorry. If you went to his hotel room and he was trying to straight it up, like Top
Yeah.
Gun on, and there's like Nerf guns on the
Shooting off a couple rounds before you came
Yeah.
in.
He has like a target, and he's like, "You give that a go after." I mean, when you're done, we could just like hang out. He's got like Wii golf or something.
After all, we are men.
Or it was he was like, "I'm just a closeted gay man. I can only express it here," and he has like flowers, and it's
Yeah.
like, which one would be stranger for you?
I think the closet stuff makes me like that stuff. Bros blowing each other that are gay doesn't bother me as much as somebody pretending to be a bro to like hide who they are, because that makes me sad. Because it's like there's gay dudes that just are just broy gay dudes, which is and that's like I always like somebody different, and I'm like, oh, you're not what I expected you to be, so that's always fun. But versus somebody who's just like, if he was like, I fucking hate football, I just lie about it. I'm like, oh, that's like you change your whole personality.
Right.
to be- Yeah. Which is tough. Yeah.
Faking the funk.
Faking the funk. Yeah.
Always bad vibes.
Yeah. And then you know what? I'm talking about the other thing on here. We're talking about the other thing, the dominatrix. So I got a hotel room to myself. I was like, I'm going to try something weird. I'm going to get a dominatrix. Worst experience of my whole entire life.
That sounds right on the money.
Yeah. By the way, me being single for this brief period of time has made me realize I'm like, all these things I thought would be fun when I'm out of a like they're not fun.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, and there's some guy trying to blow you. Your dad's got a Bane mask out of you. You gotta listen to Irish plays.
29's calling.
Yeah. So I got like a dominatrix. I was like, okay, it was like $200, and I was like, okay. And it was like a 60-year-old woman, because I wanted to get something like a little depraved. I was like, not depraved, but I was like, let me do something kind of wild. Let me just, like do something crazy. And first off, the room key's not working, so I like kind of freak out a little bit. I'm like, oh, I look like I'm gonna like murder this woman. At least that's what in my head I was like, I'm not gonna murder. I didn't say that, but I was just like, I'm not gonna murder you, I swear. And I'm trying to get the room key in. Finally, I go downstairs, which is just awkward because it's just weird. She's just waiting up there. And then
you were in a trench coat?
No. Just like a totally
like a raincoat?
No. She was like a New Jersey like middle-aged woman that was like very nice, but
dressed in like civilian clothing?
No, she's a soldier. She's
Like,
just
was
a
she
camo.
dressed
She's
up
like,
in
I don't
the-
know the role play. You didn't
Was she
text me.
dressed up in the Hellraiser gear?
No, so I don't
She
like
come in the lobby just
No,
like
no.
fucking spiked out. I'm here for Michael.
Yeah. That would be so embarrassing. But what happened? Just dressed totally normal, and she was like, "What role play?" I was like, "Oh, be like like a babysitter who's like I'm in trouble or whatever." And worst improver on planet Earth. Should have taken a level 1 UCB or something.
Yeah.
Because I get in there and it's like she's like, "Do you know why you're in trouble?" I was like, "No, why am I in trouble?" She's like. She goes,
Wait a minute, what age are we again?
Yeah.
What age are you supposed to be? Because it could be lollipops.
Yeah. I was like, and she was going to spank me. And the problem is, if they're spanking you, you can't tell them. I like initially was like, don't spank me too hard, but she's spanking you soft, and you can't tell the person to spank you harder because then that ruins the whole role play. There's no role play there. So I was like, okay, I'll just let this middle-aged woman gently spank me while asking me why I'm in trouble. And then she goes, I heard you were bad to the bass babysitter. What happened? I was like, oh, she, saw me masturbating. She's like, you should never expose yourself in front of people. That's a horrible sex crime. And I was like, no, she walked in on me masturbating. She goes, oh, well, it's not technically a crime. So and I was like,
That's what you said?
no, she said that. She's like, that's not technically a crime. I was like, she's like, but you shouldn't have done it anyways. And I didn't think.
So the thing is, you have to be committing a crime.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to be there. Like, yeah. That's the only reason I get in trouble in this weird world. And then she goes, I'm taking a bath, and I didn't think that I thought this was just going to be like a stripper kind of role play kind of thing. I didn't think any of this was happen. And she goes to jerk me off, and she goes, now I'm going to molest you. And goes in, and she goes, I'm molesting you, Michael. And I was like, please stop. Please don't use that word. Like, that's so uncomfortable.
Yo, oh.
And I was like, where did she get that? Because like porn, they don't say I'm molesting you, and they're molesting people. They wouldn't say I'm committing a crime. I was like, where did you get this information from? That's like how you. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I'm a family court lawyer.
Yeah.
All these scenarios come from intimate homes.
How much did this cost you?
It was $200.
Damn, dude, you could have just given it to me, and I would have said, "Don't do it, man."
Yeah. Well, somebody too, because I was really nervous to do it, and I was like talking to my therapist, and she's like, "You should do it." I was worried. I was like, "I'm gonna become some weird sex addict where this is where I spend."
No, dude, but ultimately, that's cool that you did. I mean, it's a fucking. I like the craziest thing I did the other day was like just mix a little bit of red wine with white wine.
Yeah.
And then called it rosé at a table full of people that didn't like my jokes.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, I was like, oh, this is crazy. We're at a dinner party. I'm gonna mix it. But like your version of going crazy was like hiring someone to do the dominatrix thing, which is like, that's a fucking wild adventure. That's really cool that you experienced that.
Thank
like,
you.
Yeah. And it's not like, and it's also, you're within that experiment, you're also exploring whether you are that like sex addict or not, or like if this is right for me. Or
well, that's what my therapist is like, go
yeah.
for it. She's like,
no,
do
that's
the thing.
why ultimately, outside of all the jokes, it's like, it's fucking dope that you did that.
Yeah.
I definitely would not be the person. I've thought of like hiring someone at some point. And I'm like, no. I just have the thought, and then I'm like, no. That sounds like a lot of work, and I don't want to spend that much money.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna try it out, and it was so funny too, because then like what happened was. Immediately afterwards, you're freaking out. You're like, what am I doing? You're looking at the hotel mirrors. You're looking at your reflection. You're like, who am I? And I was like, do people ever freak out afterwards? And I'm just like, I'm a stand-up comedian. I got to have a long relationship.
I feel like the people that are into it don't freak out like that.
No. What she said, she's like, yeah, this middle-aged guy sometimes just runs out of the room afterwards. And this old guy. And she's like, I think he might be senile, though. She's like, I should probably stop seeing him.
Wait, so you also had a real conversot with her?
Yeah, for like an hour. Yeah, not an hour, but like 15
that's
minutes.
Also really cool. You got to speak to someone that lives that's a wacky life.
Yeah,
that's so different than like definitely how I live my life. Like,
totally, yeah.
And her adventures are probably fucking insane too.
Yeah, well, she says they're all like, a lot of them are high level CEOs. That's what it's always like those guys. And she said, I was like, you must be getting clients like, how many clients do you have a day? She's like, oh, I'm lucky if I get them twice a week. I was like, ooh, that sucks. Because I thought she was just over spanking, jerking dudes off all day. And then the crazy thing she said her most common client are black guys that like being called the N-word. She says it's called race play. And she's like, that's the most common thing. She's like, I have to really like clarify before. She's like, I'm not racist, here's like the black square. Now, I don't know if she was that far, but she's like, nah, this is all just a role play.
Flag in my bag.
Yeah. But and then it was funny because then she goes, I think I always thought I could do stand-up comedy. And then she's just in the hotel room going like, women these days, right? They think men like them. They don't like you. They just want you for your pussy. And I'm just like, that's great. That's great. Like, say for it.
She starts giving you some money back.
Yeah.
Goes on with her set.
Yeah. Yeah, just returning it. Yeah. But really eye-opening experience. And the next day, you're like, it's funny. Initially, it's you just feel you're like, what am I doing with my life? You feel all this shame and guilt and stuff like that, and then you're just like, yeah, that's what it is. That'll make who I am. Maybe one day I'll be a better father because of it. I don't know.
Possibly. You never know. But like stuff like that, it's so interesting when you reflect and you're like, oh, I have to live with myself.
Yeah.
There's that. I think that like helps with how you choose whatever else. But yo, now that you did that and you spoke to that woman, like you should
give her your information.
You should see if she likes you. No. You like, dude. What if you just kept hiring different sex workers and just like interviewed them
and not have sex and just bring them on the pod? Yeah,
like no,
like an Adam 22, but I don't
still go for the session. Like I'm doing like a different fetish this time around, and then like afterwards you speak to them. Like, how'd you get into this?
Yeah.
That could be a fun.
I'm just in like a dog costume, just interviewing her.
It's that episode. It's the episode of like dog costume.
Yeah. That's an interesting one because I not in a sexual way, but I get wanting to act like a dog. It's a fun life just to be like I want to bark at people. Like I get that, not the sexual aspect, but like I want to pee
Like
outside.
what,
And bark.
your whole life is being a dog?
No. Well, I think these are like two complicated things. I think like the dog, the baby, the this, all these things. I think there's people that like identify as that, and then there's people that just in a sex state like it. Like I think there's people that probably like being on a leash just for like the sexual stuff, and there's people that are like, I actually want to be on a leash. You know what I mean? It's like the same way there's like dudes that want to like wear dresses in a sexual setting, but they're not transgender versus somebody who transitions and is a woman, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. No further thoughts on that?
No, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I've been up to, and
Yeah, I
So
don't
funny.
mean to be a party pooper here, but I have to leave like right now.
okay, that's
Yeah,
fine. What do
I
we
just
at?
got a text.
Yeah. Me and him will just do the next 10 minutes alone.
Is that fine?
Yeah,
Cool
yeah,
with that?
yeah.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Oh, I hope everything's all right.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not homophobic, and then we start talking about weird sex things. He gets out of the room. Yeah. What I'm saying for is this is the kind of stuff that they fought for. Yeah. This is
the stuff that we all fight for.
Yeah.
No, but that like in a way that is kind of what we fight for. We fight for the ability to have seeming choices.
Yeah.
The access to a type of freedom where you're like, am I this person? I want to find out.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that you have access to that is
Totally,
like a part
yeah.
of like a type of freedom, you know, like, and that's
Yeah.
like where you're at right now, and you get to do that.
Yeah, as I said, like this is a freeze. Like I have no constraints to anything.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it comes with like terrifying because like in my mind, I have all these. Which the really funny part is like I was talking with my producer in a couple episodes. I was like, yeah, sometimes you do shrooms, you see a homeless guy, you're like, what if I become a homeless guy? I'm like, that's never gonna happen. And he's like, you are homeless. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I am. It's a different level. Like I'm not gonna go by like guys on the street and be like, hey, all the same
but
struggle.
There's some elements that you're sharing in that moment. You're closer to a homeless guy than you've ever been before.
Yeah. It is a weird because like in my mind I was so scared of like I was like, oh, the second I don't have like a home, I'm gonna feel just like horrible sense of like lack.
But that's the truest representation of life, right? Like you never know. Like you didn't know that this was happening. You didn't plan this out. Like that's just all of. It's so fascinating how just like it always there's this like thing of like I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
but it's like you like for me, I'm starting to recognize that that's just like a feeling.
That
Feeling of like, oh shit, I'm like in over my head. I don't know what the fuck to do. Everything's crumbling.
Yeah.
But then it's like, for however it works out in some way or another, it's gonna work out. And then it's just like in those moments, it's like a matter of like how well you can like be calm enough to not like do the like react out of panic. And just do something really rash, you know. And dude. But like besides that, it's like when the walls wash away of like no reality is like anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that's
totally.
reality. That's always the thing.
Yeah, and this is all in the same week, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That's
So wow, well, the dominatrix thing.
Yeah,
All the week?
and the guy trying to suck my dick in the hotel, and
Wow, that's also
and
fascinating.
and the stripper with the reading the book and the Irish play, and the
That's wow, what a wild night. Also, in terms of that, like in terms of processing this like very complex set of emotions that you're experiencing, like what better way but to distract yourself with like these endeavors. And then you just reach that point where you're just kind of like, oh man, that's so fucking crazy all the time. I don't know if I want that.
Well, and you need to like expand. It's funny because everybody's like, there are people that have like jokingly shat. I mean, they're like, great way to process a breakup, and I'm like, well,
no, that's one of the ways to whatever you're doing now is part of processing the breakup, right? And then everything, and then you'll find your way of like, oh, I don't have to process it like this, you know?
Totally,
with every decision that you make, but everything that you're doing right now is processing. You know, there's better ways and not so better ways, but in time you'll recognize that.
Totally.
You know, if shit's getting worse, then you're probably not paying attention to certain other things.
Totally. Yeah, but it is funny that like that like just extreme, like you don't need, I don't know. I like that I'm just like you don't need a home, but it's you do. But it's interesting too because it's like this sounds so hippy dippy, but it's like you're part like nothing's ever permanently, especially in New York City. Like it's such a different life where like you are living a place for I I don't know. Most people I know live in a place for like a year. That's how it works. And then you get to a new place.
It's an illusion that we like live in. We're all nomadic.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the
yeah.
time frame for where we move and when we move is different than everyone else. Some people
Totally.
are like, the homeless are the most mobile.
Yes.
One could say.
Yeah. I would say
then-
the crazy when you see one guy in one part of town and then you see him in a way different part of
Yeah,
town. You're like, I didn't know you
Alright,
come by
cool.
here too. Yeah.
There's other places.
Yeah,
You're
the
good.
trash
I'm
here
glad
is a little
you're
better.
seeing the
Yeah.
sights.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And we're all nomadic. No matter what.
I've been getting into it. I've been playing that song by Metallica, Wherever My Head May Roam. Yeah, that one. He's like, no man, vagabond, burn. I like really like just going into whatever I'm doing in life with like music that's fitting the setting.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's great.
Yeah.
Soundtracking
My
your
life's
own
a
life.
movie.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's a great feeling, dude. I've been like biking around the city a lot and just putting on like playlists that's like good for biking. And yeah.
What's your biking playlist?
I like a lot of instrumental beats. And what have I been listening to? Oh, there was like a week where I was listening to nothing but like Western music.
Oh,
So I was
interesting.
like, I was treating like my bike like a horse.
It
was
That's
just
so much fun.
It was
yeah.
just when I spent I just came off of like playing like Red Dead Redemption for like 3 months straight.
Yeah.
Just like feeling all the feels of that, like details of the game and all the emotions. Like it was really a wonderful experience. But I was inside most of that time and I was like, oh, let me do something active. So I just recently started biking and stuff. And dude, it's great.
Yeah.
But like coming off of that, I was still in like cowboy mode.
Oh,
So I was
totally.
just playing like nothing but like cowboy soundtracks.
Yeah.
And it felt dope, dude.
Yeah.
Just rolling around the corner and just like
Yeah.
this is a horse.
Yeah. Well, that's the most fun too, because like I used to do that a lot with like I watch a superhero movie and like for the day I'm like I need to be the hero of today.
Oh, my blankets are capes.
yeah.
Walking around the city, like, I just saw Batman.
Yeah, I could break this fight up.
But what are you saying is like because there's movies where I get like influenced by the movie.
Yeah,
right? like with the superhero movie, what you're saying.
Yes, you walk out of the theater and you're like, no, this is the day for champions.
For champions meeting with true justice.
Yeah. And you're like, I just sat in a place and ate buttery popcorn and smoked
But
so much
that
pot.
feeling is such a beautiful feeling. I think it's like the same with like a religious experience. It's
Totally.
the same like after like a good set.
Yeah,
Of, like comedy. It's like that sort of like however that influences you, dude. When I saw like the Batman or whatever, like that soundtrack was like playing in my head, and I was like walking the streets and like these motherfuckers don't even know.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
But just that mentality stayed with me, and it's like fun to like enter that mentality for a minute and be like, oh, yo, this is like what enters in other people's minds, and then they like carry it through on the external, and they're like, oh, this guy's a fucking loser.
Yeah. Well, like the guy who like watches like too many like movies or too many Andrew Tate videos, and then he's just like, it's about escaping the Matrix.
It's so great. I've been watching now. It's so funny watching like the alpha male. Like, what is?
Are you
like,
into Andy Elliott at all? He's one of the best.
Manosphere.
Yeah.
Like just crumbling. It's so funny.
Oh, it's not doing well?
No. I'm watching all these like people deconstructing and analyzing like how it's just like falling apart, and all those people that were like doing those like podcast bits where they're like just talking mean to women.
Yeah. They have the thing is you have like 10 women on, and
Dude,
then you're just
all
like,
those
do you think you're ever
people,
gonna get a
like-
husband? And it's like, what is this?
All those people are getting like exposed like for being like fucking like scam artists and shit.
Yeah.
And, dude, it's like I'm like, this is so great. It's
Yeah,
just falling apart because like I'm watching these clips and like it's sad that there's definitely a good portion of people that believe this.
Yeah.
But then it's so great that they're all fucking falling apart.
Oh,
So like hopefully those people that believe it kind of like see through it. But hey, whatever. It's gonna take shape somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, that is the very funny part, because it's like people do bring up a good point when they're like, oh, well, there is a society. Like it's like I love these videos. They're very funny. Like Andrew Tate, Andy Elliott's another one. He's not as like sexist, but he is very like he's just like, if you don't, he's a car salesman. He's like, if you don't have abs, you can't work for me. Like all this like stuff like that. He's just about, and there's like a
So he's gay.
Yeah.
Now let me see those abs.
Yeah.
Now go sell a Toyota.
Yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. But it is funny too, because it's like I those guys are obviously like they're insane. They're like losers, and they're not losers. I mean, they're millionaires, but like you know what I mean. They're losers in certain ways.
Like the mentality.
Yeah.
Because like also like yes, they are.
I think I crossed my legs the second we're shitting on alpha males. I'm like, that's not me. I'm a New Yorker.
Because like like I think about that sometimes. Where I'm like, oh, these fucking losers. And I'm like, well, they do have a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, but the mentality they stay in. to generate that wealth, it's like I don't think that's like really healthy.
Yeah, I don't know if they're having fun, but it is also very fun to like look at a guy on a private jet, be like, yeah, sure, he's happy as me. I'm like on an air mattress, like my life is crumbling. But the one thing that does bug me though is when people are like, look at the way this is influencing our children. It's like, how about you raise your own kids?
Stop
it's like,
speaking for the kids. No, but I think that's just like
that's what the kids want.
Let the kid decide.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's just like what we do as humans. It's so fascinating. Like, that just the type of dialogue of saying like, you got to understand about men, right? Because we're like the type, and it's like, not every like I don't relate to a lot of things that like are supposed to be for men,
right?
And I'm I don't even know if I'm a guy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm any one thing or another, but like the people when I got there's people before me I came here. And those people are like, hey, you're a guy. And I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. I just got here. But like the whole identity thing, it's like all men are not the same. All women are. We're all fucking. There's some similarities, but then like, what are the similarities? We discover that over time. It's not dependent on like I just.
Well, the difference is that women rip your heart out, Adam, and men are there for you when you
they
fall.
Just have that claw, that diamond claw grasp on your heart. Every one of them. But it's like I think that really is part of the foundation for like unhealthy thinking.
Totally.
Because what you're saying like just raise your own kids, and like I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right, but like it's like we and I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now by saying like no. I'm saying like we tend to do like the perspective in itself. Is generalizing itself, and I'm saying there's a fault to that.
Oh, totally.
Where you can really blanket what you're saying and just go in full steam, and not address the fact that you just spoke about like half the population of the Earth,
billions of people,
billions of people, as if you fucking know, and it's like no, you saw like your own whatever your frequency of the pattern that you see with the people around you, but that's not still like that's not accurate to everyone, and like hopefully we tread this planet and we experience how wrong we are. And even the experience that you had. I don't think you speak to a lot of dominatrixes.
No.
And you met up with one.
Yeah.
It's like a different lifestyle. She probably has like so many things that are similar to what we do, and then so many things that are way different.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And the only time I really believe in generalizing, and I do think in comedy sometimes it's fun to generalize. You're like the guy with the Toyota Prius doing this and that. And you're like, I don't actually believe that, but I'm taking it
But for comedy, it's like shorthand, and like, comedy itself is its own kind of language. And unfortunately, like it gets murky when people are like, oh, they're the philosophies of our time. They're also doing a lot of things in terms of speech that's very unhealthy. Like you can't just keep generalizing, right? Like in performance, yes, because you're trying to get to the point of also making the joke work. You have to generalize a certain amount to highlight how this joke works.
Like everybody in Denver likes this.
It's not. It's not like spread across. Like, Like it's not completely accurate.
No, of course, but it's not supposed to be an accurate thing. It's supposed to be.
And then like people that like watch stand up, they see that and they're like, oh, this is how like a person should talk. And well, now they're doing the fucking thing and not really like connecting with how that's like a different form of communication.
Totally, It's like I wouldn't walk up to a random person and start talking that way.
Yeah.
The funny thing I want to say about the Mansphere though is really funny. There's that chick in it, like the red-haired one. I think her name is Pearl, and she's like,
oh yes,
she's nuts.
Watching her, dude, she's so fucking crazy.
But I will say this: when I get why people get into it, because there's a second where she's like, men, and you start to feel that little thing. You're like, oh, someone's standing up for me. Like I feel it a little bit. And I'm like, this is so wonderful. And then she's like, women shouldn't vote. I'm like, okay.
But it's so wild. She's like, just face it, you guys. Like, women are dumber than men. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And in terms of like the fault of generalization, now she's also calling out like, there's women that are way more successful than her and are way smarter than her. Like in terms of whatever the fuck she's like, whatever the fuck garbage she's like spitting out is like insane.
I mean, you call
it
garbage, but that's it's just,
one man's trash.
That's all I'm saying. But it is funny. The interesting thing, I don't want to talk too politicky. Yeah, we got like 2 minutes left. I think.
Yeah, it's not too politicky. I think I think we're having more of like a human conversation. Because I'm not trying to like bring in any like politics in this.
The one thing I do find really interesting though, real quick, is I've noticed that liberal people, they don't like to claim people. They're like that somebody who's really liberal, but they're like he's not liberal. But then conservatives will claim everybody. Like people are like Dave Chappelle is actually a conservative. You're like, what do you? It's like two different things, but people
like they'll take anyone.
Yeah. No, he's one of us.
That's how they're like successful.
Yeah.
That's how they get their numbers.
yeah. And then in your mind, you're kind of like that guy thinks like me. You're like I'm thinking the right thing because that guy thinks like me. Yeah. But as I said, I hate to throw in politics, but I think we're ready to wrap up pretty soon here.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm good to go. I got my shoes on. I'm ready to start this podcast.
Yeah. It was just the banter before. Yeah. Anything you want to promote?
Oh, yo, if you like comedy, also check out the show Top 5. It's just what I'm doing. It's
I would
fun.
love to do one, dude. Yeah.
Yo, we got the ingredients right here.
Yeah. I can't today, but
no, I'm saying I'm just speaking generally.
Yeah.
We have the ingredients right
No, yeah.
No, I wasn't speaking about like right now. But
Yeah. I'm leaving town for like 3 weeks, so I got to pack everything. I'm going to Boston, Rhode Island,
for
Austin,
comedy?
and Chattanooga. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're off to like a really fun adventure.
I'm excited.
And it's like good weather. You're gonna be like at decent weather. I think it's not like the pit of winter. You know.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like,
a good point. Yeah,
it's
Boston
like the cusp.
So
you have some like cool nights, maybe some sunny days. Oh, I'm very excited for you, man.
Thank you.
And it's really cool that this is happening. And in the processing of dealing with like just the pain of whatever this is, like it's not just painful. It's more than that. It's dude, you're experiencing life. Life feels like this. Life feels like this.
Well, and that is the crazy part, dude. It's very funny. I was like, what was I going to be a stand-up comedian and never experience a break? You know what I mean? I was like, it'd be crazy to never experience this part of life. So yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you, and I'm very grateful you have me on the show.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. That's the most serious ending to a fun thing, but it's genuine. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.